Good evening, Chiefs Kingdom. Hooray, hooray. It's Q&A day. I know that I saw the comment earlier from Luttrell. I know Luttrell booked it in advance and I don't see it now. So very disappointed, but hey, the Ronster, it's Q&A day. That's right. First of two Q&A days this week from the Chief Digest group here. Later on tonight, Nick Jacobs will be joining us, as always, as best he can on a Tuesday night. I'm reminded, I was just thinking about this earlier, but when the Q&A first started, pretty much chose the time based on Nick's availability. Because Nick was only available Mondays and Tuesdays, and he volunteered to help me get this off the ground since, as many of you long-timers know, I have deep phobia of seeing myself on screen and doing all these things. So Nick volunteered to help me out and do this. And obviously Nick's 2 nights off, Monday and Tuesday. Monday's no good because it's Monday Night Football. We don't really want to go up against that. So we, by default, settled on Tuesday. It's been a roaring success. We've had a lot of fun on Tuesday nights, so it has been great. But as Tuesdays get busier and busier, and there's more and more stuff going on, and I know these 2 hour, sometimes 2.5 hour Q&As get out of control for some folks, and a little bit too long. So we wanted. I've been thinking for a while to break it up, and as I recently had some more stuff dumped on my plate for Tuesdays, breaking this up into 2 Q&A discussions and doing a second one on another day when hopefully different folks can show up. Love all of you, and anybody who wants to make it both nights, feel free, come in with different questions, all of that, especially because what we know on Tuesday might be a little different than what we know on Thursday. And who knows, maybe we can pop up in some other times and test some times on Thursday to see what works best for folks. I'm not married to anything. We're pretty much locked in on Tuesdays. That's never going to change. And the 2 o'clock, the 7 o'clock start rather on Tuesdays. But I'm also pledging, as I believe it's already been noted in here, that please set the play clock to 45 seconds, Brian. I probably need 30. And yes, I actually have been trying to find a clock that I can use that will work with StreamYard that I can put on screen. But I need like a whole little bit of a graphic rebuild on the Chiefs Q&A. We've been doing this since day one, so we might need to clean it up. That's been on my to-do list now for a while, so maybe we can get that done. Add a space for a clock, because hey, if we're going to do these in an hour with all the questions that you have, we need to go lightning round from the very beginning. So won't spend a lot of time on the monologue tonight. A lot of things I'm sure you folks already know. Obviously, the Chiefs are preparing for a game Friday night against the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know about you. Friday night football is hard to get used to. I have not known what day of the week it is all week long. I have to keep reminding myself or asking people what day of the week it is, because this is too confusing. Practice on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. On top of that, because the Chiefs are even doing their schedule a little bit differently. Normally, if they're playing on a Friday, they would practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, travel day on Thursday. But when you're traveling 12 hours to Brazil, Chiefs are taking off about 7 o'clock Wednesday morning. So that's hence the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday practice. Wednesday's all-day travel day. Sounds like it's going to be about 11 hours, maybe 10 and a half if they get a good tailwind, but it's a better part of a day. So they're taking off at 7. Sounds like they're hoping to be at the hotel by 9 rather, and checked in. So we'll hope everything goes well for their travel. Thursday will be a walkthrough before the game on Friday. They will be doing media down in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. Sounds like it's going to be about 9:20 Kansas City time on Thursday. So if you're looking for some live streams of that, it'll be a little bit earlier than usual since they are 2 hours ahead. So it'd be about 9:20 local time, Kansas City, Chiefs Kingdom time. Doesn't look like Jalen Royals will be playing. We will probably know on Wednesday because the Chiefs, I understand, are going to be required to report anybody who's not a part of the travel team as going ahead and being out. Does not sound like Jalen Royals is going to be traveling, so we might know as early as Wednesday that technically he is out. Injury report is going to be an estimation on Wednesday, and I understand it's going to be released very early Wednesday, probably before the team travels. So you might even start out your Wednesday morning with some news about injury reports and what's going on with the Chiefs. So let's see what's going on there. We'll see what we find out. Going to be just a little bit different the next couple of days. Injury reports probably only news that you're going to get amongst anything that goes on Wednesday, because like I said, Chiefs are going to be traveling all day, so probably not a lot of news other than the injury report Wednesday morning. You might get some social media updates, who knows, from the Chiefs social media team, and then Thursday action will pick up. Outside the Jalen Royals, looks like everybody else is going to be good to go. Omar Norman Locke was the only other player listed as limited on practice on Tuesday, but all indications are that he is going to be ready to go. So without further ado, I'm going to get straight to the questions because we already have some super chats, and I don't want to waste anybody's time tonight. So Dog Petter, right off the bat, can the Chiefs trade for Cam Hayward? All right, let's do the first question, which is, let's check Cam's contract. I'm not going to lie, I have a few age questions, but here's the thing. I mean, Chiefs need a run defender. They need a nose tackle the worst way. Now, he does not fit in with Brett Veach's philosophy that he says that he wants to get younger and more athletic. Money-wise, it'd be fine. I can see why the Steelers might not want to let him go because he's cheap and affordable. I know there's been some news out there about his situation. And he would like some more money, I think, is the bigger problem. He's at a really low base. He's got a contract that paid him some money up front, and that's why the Steelers, I mean, he's got a roster bonus. Ooh, yeah, I'm going to say no, vote no on that one, because is that guaranteed? He's got a, or are those per game? If those are per game roster bonuses, no, I mean, they are due. Doesn't look like it's guaranteed, so I guess you could walk away from him. But that's the problem. I mean, the Steelers have already taken a pretty decent cap hit on him this year. I mean, they've already taken a 13.4 cap hit with the roster bonus and $4.9 million signing bonus. So I don't know that the Steelers, I mean, without eating all of that, his base salary is nothing, 1.3 this year and 1.3 next year. He's got another almost $13 million roster bonus next year that if you're the Chiefs, you'd have to make a decision on early. It doesn't look like it's guaranteed yet, but I wouldn't give up. Here's the problem. I would not be willing to give up much for him, and I don't think the Chiefs would be willing to give up much for him. But with the Steelers, as much sunk cost as they've got in him, they might be stuck with him. I know that they're at a contract standoff, but that's the problem too. I mean, if you're bringing in Cam Hayward, do you have money to give him more money if you're the Chiefs? They don't have it, and they want to roll it over. So I get it, Dog Petter, and and you might be able to talk me into it, because, and maybe after Friday's game, we'll see how things go. And the Chiefs need some more help. They need help on the defensive interior, and we'll see if they activate anybody from the practice squad to come up for this game. But they need a solution. Maybe it is Cam Hayward. Maybe it's worth checking out. I could see there just being some logistics from the Steelers end of things, and from the Chiefs just not willing to give up a big draft pick for a 36-year-old. Bobby, thanks for the super chat. And Dog Better, thank you to as well for the super chat. Bobby, is there competition among you Chiefs reporters? I mean, if you're talking about from a story standpoint, yes. I mean, it's not but but if you're talking like from an audience standpoint or a reader standpoint, no. I mean, we don't do. I mean, nobody does anything like scoreboard as far as your readership or your ratings or anything like that. Are we competitive about stories? Do we want the best stories and everybody wants the best scoops? Yeah, we're some of us are pretty competitive on that. I've been known to be pretty competitive. I'll let everybody else speak to their own competitive juices and everything. But yeah, and there's probably hasn't been wagers on coverages, so I can't say that. Do we have wagers from time to time? Non-monetary wagers on things that happen in the football world? Sure, that might happen occasionally, and it's all I'm going to say on that. But I mean, the competition, Bobby, it's for stories. It's for getting the best stories, best scoops, and yeah. I mean, we all want to be at the best of what we do. So that's the competition. If you had a different thought in mind, Bobby, let me know in the comments. I'll circle back and make sure I just answered your question right. But and everybody's to a different level. I mean, their competition. I'm sure some of us are more competitive than others. If somebody's has a great story that I wish I had, do I get mad at myself for not thinking of it first or not doing it first? Absolutely. Somebody gets a good scoop that I didn't get first, and I'm mad because somebody else beat me to it. Yeah, I get mad at myself. I'm not mad at anybody else. I'm just mad at myself. But I think several of us are competitive in that fashion. So hopefully I answered your question, Bobby. And brother Rick, also thank you for the super chat, getting us started here tonight. It appears the Chiefs are looking to get younger at DT. What do you make of their recent acquisitions at the position? I mean, they got younger. Derek Nottie is younger than Mike Pennell. Is he more athletic? I think it might be a toss up there. Mike Pennell's pretty spry for 34. Derek Nottie and Derek Nottie. I mean, I'll admit it. I'm impressed the fact that Derek Nottie has played all but one game in his career, and I wonder if he regrets sitting out that one game. It was, and if I remember correctly, I think he was dinged up too at that time. So maybe he was okay with it from just a health standpoint, wanting to get rested up for the postseason. But he's only missed one game in his NFL career, and it was the last game of the season in a game where a bunch of other starters sat. So he's an Iron Man, and that's to me impressive because Derek Nottie has been. I mean, he's dealt with some things. He's played through some injuries. He's played through some back problems, and and that's a difficult thing to do. I mean, he's had some challenges, and he's managed to soldier on through them. So I don't think anybody can ever question Derek Nottie's toughness. The guys on the practice squad, I mean, we're really talking about unknown quantities largely at this point, even though some of these guys have been around for a while. Broderick Martin, bringing up, I'm trying to remember his stats off the top of my head. He was most recently with the Lions, but man, he's played 17 games in his career. I think he was a rookie, and I want to say it was 22. No, he was a 23 draft. He came out. He's been with the Lions ever since. He's only played 5 games. That was this. Says a 17 game average. I don't know how your 17 game average can be 17 games if you've only played 5 games. But I mean, from that standpoint, NFL standpoint wise, inexperienced. So I think you'd have to say he's a bit of just a blank slate at this point. I mean, you don't really know a whole lot about him and what his game is, other than he's big. He's like listed 6'5", 330. I believe that. I didn't see when I talked to him this week. I didn't look at him and think, good God, no, this man's closer to 360 or anything like that. So I don't think he's too jumbo size. Zach Pickens was a 3rd round pick out of the Bears. I think both those guys were 3rd round picks. He's been very similar. He played a few more games, so he's played 26 games in the NFL over the past 2 seasons. A little bit more of at least a track record, but not what you would say a stereotypical defensive tackle. I mean, really as far as a nose tackle goes, really the only 2 guys on the practice squad that you would really say are true nose tackle types are Broderick Martin and Marlon Tuipulotu. So those would be the two guys that are kind of behind Derek Nottie at this point. And maybe the Chiefs will activate one or I mean, probably both of them would be unlikely. One of them possibly could be activated, but at the same time, and by activated, I mean elevated from the practice squad just for this game, not added to the 53. But that could be, I just didn't see any evidence that this week at practice as that was going to happen. It certainly could be a possibility, especially you get closer to game time, things can change. But it certainly looked like from at least the limited portion of the practice we get, which, hey, admittedly is only about 5 to 10 minutes at the beginning of each practice. It looked like they were planning on everybody who's on the defensive roster right now going on Fridays. Everybody, all 9 defensive linemen, the 5 defensive ends, and the 4 defensive tackles, which would be your Chris Jones, Derek Nottie, Jerry Tillery, and Omar Norman Lott. I mean, you want to consider Omar Norman Lott as being a guy that's going to line up next to Chris Jones and kind of be an interior guy against the run. I mean, he's still dealing with the ankle injury. And, it was kind of explained that the Chiefs are kind of backing off the idea of him playing at a heavier weight. And sounds like he's now down closer to maybe 305 pounds rather than 315 or 320. I'm not sure where he got up to, but remembering he was 291 at the combine. So even 305 would still be a little bit above his normal weight. But 305 is not necessarily defensive tackle weight, as far as playing the run and being an interior defensive tackle weight. You might want those guys a little bit bigger. But it doesn't sound like that's what the Chiefs want. I mean, it sounds like they've backed off the idea that he's going to be a one tech and a run defender and that they want him just doing what he does, which is go after the passer and probably be with somebody you're going to see more likely on the interior on third downs when Chris Jones kicks outside. He could certainly play more than that, but at least right now it would be at least the one role for him. Like I said, there could be a more larger involving role for him, but that was at least where they would start. So we'll see what happens, but that's at least my breakdowns. The kind of early look at the guys that they brought in on the practice squad at the defensive tackle position with Mike Pennell gone. So. All right, let's go on down. And I'm already failing at my 30-second lightning round. So apologize if I get short on some of the answers. I just want to make sure we get everybody answered tonight. And Nick doesn't yell at me. He never yells at me. Ron, I know the expectation is that Jawan Taylor will start on Friday night. However, if the knee responds poorly post-flight and needs draining, how realistic is it you see Jalen Moore out there? Realistic for sure. It's likelihood maybe is the better question. And I mean, Jawan Taylor, unless there's something dramatic that happens, and like you said, if the flight doesn't go well for some reason, then they had to drain it. I know I talked to Jawan today a little bit about it, and it's on his mind, but he's also feeling pretty good. So they're going to do all that they can to take care of that knee and everybody on that team. But Jawan, specifically with his knee, I'm sure they're going to be trying to keep him up on the flight, probably ice the knee down a little bit here at times and too, just to try and get rid of any inflammation. So I'm not terribly concerned. It's worth monitoring and just seeing what happens. He'll have, a good 36 hour-ish, maybe almost 48 hours after the flight, really, to get that knee calmed down if anything happens. So I think keep an eye out there for it. Realistic. It's realistic. Is it likely? I mean, I think it's got to be less than 10% that anything happens, and you'd have to see Jalen Moore out there. I mean, he would be the first guy up at that right tackle spot, but Jawan seems in pretty good shape going into this game, so I would not be super concerned. Mary Chicken Soup and Rice with a super chat. Just a little thank you for being you, Matt. Never worry about your long lightning rounds. You keep the Kingdom company year round, and your Knicks insights are appreciated. Mary Chicken Soup and Rice, that is super kind of you. I truly appreciate that. Very kind of you. Appreciate the kind words. I appreciate it from all of you. You all are very encouraging. You're the best bunch of fans and viewers that anybody could have. So I am truly grateful for that. I was scanning through looking to see if, but Bobby, if you had a follow up, just make sure I answered your question right. Regarding the super chat, just curious because it seems like you, Taylor, Pete, and McDowell have all had big years, but all seemed like friends. Oh, absolutely. No, I love these guys. Everybody in the room. I mean, we get along great. Is there individual competition? Sure. Is there respect? Yes, because when other guys have great stories, and Jesse Newell too, I'm going to throw him in there. And then like there's goats like Blair Kirchhoff in there. I mean, Blair's just like the absolute best in the world. But all these guys, we're all friends. We all get along. I mean, is there competition? Absolutely, there is. But there's a lot of respect. And if anybody's ever got a good story, anything like that, you give them props. I do that all the time. I mean, everybody on that list has had good stories that I just had to give it up for them and say, hey, great job on that, telling that story, getting that scoop, whatever it is. A lot of respect in that room. So no, there's no nastiness in this group. Everybody gets along great. And that's one of the things I like about the Chiefs beat and Kansas City group. We got a lot of good people that work together, and we all work our butts off, and occasionally we do good work. But I'm modest, so I always believe that everybody else does better work than I do. So Ronster Osto, do you know if the team has any package plays that we'll see Nico Remigio out there with the offense, or will that be limited to Thornton and Brownlee with Remigio sticking to special teams? I mean, there's certainly a specific role for Nico out there, and I would probably say if you think about it in a couple of terms, I would compare Nico's usage a little bit to Albert Wilson. That, you know, in the sense that, you know, Albert, one of the things he was really good at is, you know, running some pick routes, running rub routes, mesh routes underneath stuff that would help open up other guys. Nico's really good at that. So he's good at running routes, and I don't mean to make them sound like decoy routes, but he's good at running routes that draws his defense's eyes away to maybe open things up for somebody else. I mean, Nico, when he's on the field, isn't always going to be the first option, might be the fifth or sixth option, a lot of plays, but there's going to be things that are specific for him. And I would say if you think of some of the stuff that Albert Wilson did, and even some of the stuff that Justin Watson would do that didn't involve the deep ball, that's kind of some of the things you'll see Nico doing. So I think he'll probably see some offensive snaps. Anything specifically designed for Nico? No. But I think you're going to see him just out there. You know, he's going to be running some of those, like I said, eye candy routes, some of the things that are just the kind of designed to draw the defense's attention, to maybe clear out space for other guys. That's kind of Nico's specialty. And then Ron Urosco asking, do you anticipate Christian Fulton being a starter on Friday night? Or does he still need some ramping up? Good question. I mean, I feel like my sense right now is that he's probably going to be a part-time player to start. So maybe you wouldn't consider him a full-time player, or a starter, but I think he's going to be out there a lot, because whenever the Chiefs go to three corners, he's going to be one of the three. And hey, maybe this is a game where there's a bit more base, because, you know, if especially if the Chargers decide to commit themselves to the run, they may need to have their linebackers out there a bit more. I think that, you know, hey, Christian Fulton and Jalen Watson are also going to be kind of matchup specific. You might see more of them one week versus another, depending on whom Steve Spagnuolo and Dave Merritt feels like matches up better against the other team. I also know this is a payback game a little bit for Christian Fulton. It's a revenge game. I mean, he wants to beat his former team. But I think that, hey, from a workload standpoint, you do kind of want to ramp up Christian Fulton a little bit. So I don't know if you want him out there 100% of the snaps. So maybe that's why he would not be a starter. But I think they're gonna get him out there as much as they feel like that they need to. So I'd probably expect Jalen Watson to start and Fulton to kind of fill in and kind of be that third safety, not a nickel guy. He's going to be on the outside all the time, but coming in when specifically for sure whenever they're going to three corners. So, you know, probably a lot of time if the Chargers have got three receivers on the field, anytime they want, you know, McDuffie on the inside, that's when Christian Fulton will be out there. Jackson, maybe the oh, he said you don't want it out there. The Chiefs Digest YouTube channel popped up. No, I am not familiar with that, Jackson. So I'll follow up with that later and see. I appreciate the heads up though. But no, this is the only place you're gonna find Chiefs Digest on YouTube. So if there's anybody else out there, not me. Jackson, your football question. Do you think in the next 2 to 3 years the Chiefs will trade away a superstar like they did with Tyreek? I mean, it's always possible, and because and even with the Tyreek situation, I mean, that obviously wasn't the plan, but it was a situation that developed quickly, and that can happen with anybody. I mean, could it happen with Trent McDuffie? Sure. Do I see a scenario where the Chiefs might be in a situation where in the next couple of years they decide they trade Trent McDuffie? Sure, because they've got control of him, obviously for the 5th-year option. There's obviously, you've got the possibility of the franchise tag for a year or two after that. But right now, I mean, the conventional wisdom is that Trent McDuffie's looking for top of the money market. That's going to be in the ballpark of $30 million. Chiefs can't sign everybody. So if there's somebody that they have to walk away from, and the Chiefs have shown that, hey, if you're looking at top of the market money and you're not maybe Chris Jones or Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce or okay, we're going down to Creed Humphrey now and then Trey Smith. I mean, where's the line? And I mean, and if you're not going to sign Trent McDuffie to top of the market money, the reason why you're not, it would be because he's 5'10", because he's just not as big as the other corners that are getting paid a lot of money. Hey, I love Trent McDuffie. I think he's a great player. If you're the Chiefs, you want to try and keep him as much as you can. But if Brett Veach's logic and his thinking was, wait a minute, hey, the height is a concern for us. And if we can get a good return and then invest those picks in elsewhere and not get caught up with the money, hey, maybe that's what they need to do. I mean, obviously that's what they felt like they needed to do with Tyreek. It was a good decision. I mean, they made it. But at the same time, if their data and their system says that Trent McDuffie is going to be a good player for a Pro Bowl, all pro caliber player for the next 5 years, better try and sign him up and keep him. But if you've got a player that you know your own players better than anybody else does, if you feel like that you've got a player that the market overvalues and that you can move for draft picks and save the money, then it makes sense to make the trade. And the thing is that, I mean, oftentimes it's like, teams are the ones that can make that evaluation. It's hard for us to make that evaluation. Even look at the Tyreek Hill. I mean, there were plenty. I mean, that was a divisive trade. There was not uniformity on that. I mean, now everybody looks back on it and says, Chiefs won that trade. They got the best of it. And it worked out well for them. But that was not the consensus when the deal went down. There was a lot of concerns, and especially about the Chiefs offense. And obviously they won a Super Bowl that year and had the number one offense in the league. So it didn't slow them down that much. You want to, I don't even think you'd say they'll slow them down further, because Tyreek of the last year or so wouldn't have helped this team that much. All right, Jackson, your second question. What player are you most excited to watch on Friday? For you, it's Worthy, Simmons, and Hicks. All three good choices, especially Xavier Worthy. I mean, seeing him in year 2 and how he responds on this team, it's going to be really interesting. So I'm intrigued to see Xavier. Justin Simmons, I think everybody's going to be watching. And Jaden Hicks, for sure. I'm hoping, I mean, I could see there's a scenario where maybe Brashard Smith is not active, but I think he's going to be. I think Elijah Mitchell would probably be the running back I would have not active, and I'd have Brashard Smith up because I want to see him on special teams. I want to see him in the backfield a few times. I mean, I don't think he's going to get like 10 or 20 snaps or anything like that, but I want to see the Chiefs get him out there and try to split him out wide and see if they can get a matchup that he can just absolutely toast somebody with. So I'm ready for that. Man, I'm starting another question, Letro, for Nick when he gets here. So don't worry, I'll get your question in. Yeah, we should have a T-shirt with a clock on it. Once we get full lightning round going, I mean, and we get the clock being part of the show. Nick is in the green room and shaking his head at me. There you go. I'll put that up for you, Zulu, while I'm looking for some more questions and scanning down. I'm just slow reader when I'm talking. Sorry, everybody. Jackson, how much SEO do you partake in with your articles and written content? I'm a marketing student and curious about that aspect that affects the sports journalism industry. Honestly, Jackson, certainly not as much as I should. I'll admit I am an old fogey, so I've got some. I don't like to write clickbaity stuff, and so I don't usually like to write headlines or anything like that will perform well that I know, but and register in the SEO. I do some of it from time to time. You see it here on the YouTube channel in particular, because there's certain things that YouTube's algorithm likes that I don't like, but I do it anyway because it's good for business. But I tell you what, I mean, when it comes to the stories, my writing and everything like that, I never run them through SEO checkers or anything like that. I used to once upon a time, would worry about that, but now I just worry about writing good stuff. I don't look at trending topics for stuff. I mean, I know that's a part of the business. There are people who have to live and die by it. I get that. My philosophy is that if I'm just going to do what I think is good content. And bottom line is that, and this is less about the SEO part of it, but just about what I write and what I cover. I don't mean this to be, too obnoxious or anything like that, but I just believe that for those of us who are fortunate enough to be credentialed and to have the access that we do, we ought to be doing stories that create the trends and set the trends rather than following them. Because, if you're writing about stuff that press conferences that honestly anybody can do and anybody does, I mean, there's a lot of places where you can get details about what happened in the press conference today. I just put up the press conferences on the YouTube channel and let you enjoy them. I try to write about what I get elsewhere. So, all right, the man is here. Welcome to the show.
Season's greetings, Matt. Regular season's greetings.
How are you this evening?
I'm great, Matt. Hey, Matt, did you ask good questions today?
I didn't at the podium because I guess I did. I forgot. Today was a podium day, so I was there. I did get to ask one of the two questions to Andy Reid before they pulled him off.
Okay, but did you ask good questions today?
Well, hopefully, does anybody care about Hollywood Brown's ankle and if he's ready for Friday night? Because if you do, then I asked a good question.
It's a yes. It's a yes or a no. There's really no in between, Matt. Did you ask good questions today?
I hope that was a good question. I had a colleague, chide me for my George Karlaftis question about asking him about the getting ready for the travel and the 2-hour bus ride, to the stadium, because he travels to Greece all the time. But it's still he's 6'4". He's a big guy. It's not easy to travel.
So yes, you asked good questions today.
Well, thank you. Then I asked good questions today. I didn't really ask much of Hollywood because I'll be honest, I talked to Hollywood at his locker yesterday, and so I kind of got most of what I needed from that. So you'll be reading that on Chiefs Digest here soon.
Yeah, I don't know. Got a clip sent to me a day about asking good questions at a podium. So just want to make sure that we're all doing that. We got a sign in the media workroom that says, "Did you ask good questions today?" And we'll just keep that up there.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not always going to ask good questions at the podium because, like yesterday, I spent all my time in the locker room. So,
shout out to the aggregators.
Anything on your mind this evening, Nick?
Oh, I already said it.
You already said it. You got it out
them.
there.
You come at the king, you best not miss. Come correct. Okay?
All right. Well, we are in full lightning round mode tonight, although I'm probably sure I've failed on every answer so far as being in lightning round.
Well, congratulations. It's we'll put that sign up above your house. Did I lightning round today?
I did have a couple of questions that were saved for when you get here. So
well, I'm here, Matt. Let's light this candle. Let's get going, bro.
Let's go to the roster. What?
The
This
Ronster.
was the
It's
final
not a
until Nick
Ronster.
gets here. So
The Ronster. I like it.
the Ronster. What should expectations be for Brashard Smith for Week 1 after his involvement with the first team during the final preseason game?
I mean, for me mentally, if he's over 15 snaps, I'll think that something terribly went wrong. But I mean, you're wanting him to be a part of it if he's active, which I think he will be because he adds an element to the offense. But you don't want him having 10, 15 type touches. You really don't want that. You want him out there getting him aligned on a handful of plays, letting him get comfortable in the scheme and the system and being in an NFL game and an NFL speed. So I think if he's out there 15, 20 snaps, I think that that's kind of your max out on that front. And I mean, you're hoping he gets a couple catches, maybe he gets a couple runs. But yeah, I mean, I think if he's got more than 7 catches in the game, then that's like, what happened there? But yeah, you just want him to be a piece of the puzzle. You don't want him to be the entire puzzle in that one.
Yeah, and if he plays, he's going to be back there with Nico on kickoffs, so he'll be involved in that part of the game. And I'm with you. I mean, and my hot take this year is he might have more catches than touches out of the backfield. But
anything's possible.
And I didn't necessarily have to wait for you, Nick, because but I think hey, let's explain this once, and then we'll be done for the season. Predictions for Friday, or I can compromise in victory predictions if that is too gambling related. But you, Nick, don't like to offer predictions for the score of the games.
I don't, because too many people use it to make money off of. I've learned that. Learned that over the years, especially when it's got hot in the streets here the past couple of weeks. And then people are like, "Oh, you were wrong on that." Yeah, what's your point? If I was right about stuff, I'd have won the lottery by now. What are we like? I've said this many a time. So if you follow what I do, I don't understand how you're confused by, I don't get everything right. Otherwise, I'd be super rich right now.
I, for somewhat similar reasons, oddly enough, I'm fine offering score predictions because you should not be following me for score advice because I'm that's not where I'm an expert. Maybe I'm not an expert on a lot of things, but I don't have any algorithms or anything of this nature. It's just gut feeling. And if you're going with my gut for your gambling related, decisions, then you're making some big mistakes. But I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a one-score game.
Yeah, no, I think Chiefs will win too. And I'll have to look up the stat. I had it earlier. I'll find it in a minute. But yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win this. I think they'll win in a close game in this one. I think they'll be pretty locked in. I think they'll have a good showing, good performance because they know the whole league's watching and they want to make a statement. But on top of it, yeah, I mean, I don't think. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I'm not nervous to see how this Chiefs run defense does, but we'll see how it works out.
Man, I'm really nervous about that run defense. We'll see how it goes, but man.
Weston, no sport coffees. I've had none today, okay? Like, you guys try to look at that Weston right there. I know he's joking, but it's like you're trying to just put this is a previous one from last week. You're trying to put sport coffees down my gullet and be like, "Dance, Jacobs, dance." Not that guy, okay?
Are fired up tonight. I like this.
I just ate. My blood sugar's dangerously high.
All right, I no life, I assume. I can't imagine that. How do you feel going into this season as opposed to last season for the Chiefs?
I feel like the pressure's off for this football team. I think they can play loose and they're not chasing history. They don't have a documentary crew following them around. I think they can. The expectations are off somewhat. And so if they get back to the AFC Championship, it'll be like, oh yeah, no, they do that again. Oh, that's cool. And I mean, some people are already picking against them, saying that they're going to be a wild card instead of win the AFC West and everything. So hey, the more people that keep doing that, let them. It just all comes down to if they can stay healthy. I think the Chiefs' run defense, their pass rush, and the left guard thing, those are the questions that I'm like, hey, if they get those figured out, it could be a fun year. But we won't know until the coach's film is official. Because the pads have been on for a while. I don't need to say that anymore.
There you go. They have been on for a while. I don't know. I mean, I think you have the right answer, which is that.
Oh, thank you, Matt. That's so kind of you.
And I hadn't really considered that, but you're right. I mean, The pressure is totally different this year. I mean, last year, yes, they were entering with the three-peat pressures from across the board. So that's not there this year. So I totally get that. And this team, I also don't want to say that it's necessarily free and easy, but I do think that they've got a chip on their shoulder and they didn't have a chip on their shoulder last year. They've got one this year.
Yeah.
And normally this team and this quarterback in particular plays pretty well when they've got chips on their shoulder. So that's why I might be a little bit more bullish. I don't think they're going to go 15-2 because let's face it, they had some really good bounces for the ball to go their way 15-2 last year. But 13-4, I mean, that's pretty good. And I mean, once again, if this team is a wild card team, to me, okay, then how many games did Patrick Mahomes miss is what I need to know, because that's the only way I think they end up as a wild card team. Chris, what is your typical game day schedule? You don't have a typical game day schedule, Nick, because yours can be wildly different.
Yeah, so you go first, Matt.
Well, I generally only have two because I have road and away. I stopped going on road games a few years ago. I mean, I stopped during COVID, and I just really haven't picked it up since then, mostly because, it's just the access on the road isn't as great as it used to be. It's short, sweet, and out of there, and I just don't get enough to really justify the budget. So for road games, I'm here at the home office, right where you see me right now. I've got my monitor right here. I'll have my laptop in front of me for a second screen, my phone for a third screen. I've got my TV over here. We're watching the game. So obviously over the antenna, because I don't like to have the 45-second delay for streaming. So that's how I do for the road games. For home games, my goal is I usually end up trying to get to the stadium about 4 hours before the game, just because then I can get settled in and, beat the crowds, all that stuff, get focused, I'll do something obviously on inactives, whether it's big enough that week for it to be posted. If there's no big exciting news about inactives, I mean, I'm not going to get much traffic on it, so I'm not going to beat myself over the head with it. Then watch the game, locker room, podium, whatever needs to be done. I've got usually a podcast and a radio hit to do, and finish, maybe do some writing, obviously. So I can end up being at the game afterwards, another 4 or 5 hours sometimes. That's my day.
The time is definitely yours on that one. That surpassed final thoughts, man.
How about you?
No, you already used only a lot of time. We're going to keep this far moving.
I can give you 15 seconds.
No, I'm good. Thank you. I'm going to remain a mystery. How about that? Well, I go to the station and I do my job. That involves Chiefs and Sunday Sound Off.
And your job is much easier when the game is not on your air. But it's more
I have
exciting
no comments about that. KSHB 41 is a great employer, and they do a phenomenal job.
But I was going to say it's more enjoyable when it's on your air.
I'm sorry. We're past the 15-second allotment, Matt. The time is now theirs again.
Bobby wants us to rank the 5 most powerful people in the Chiefs organization, including all front office coaches, players, owners, etc. Ooh. I kind of like this question, Nick.
Okay. Go for it then, Matt, since you like
it. Okay. Well, I mean, one, you're going to have to go with Clark Hunt, number 1, because he's the boss.
He's the owner. Yep.
Andy Reid's number 2.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes, number 3.
Okay.
I'm going to go Mark Donovan, number 4.
Okay.
And I'm vacillating on a lot of different people at number 5. I'm thinking about putting a really unusual person at number 5.
Go for it, Matt. Let's go.
You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to put Julie Freimeyer.
Okay.
She keeps Patrick alive.
Okay.
So there's my top 5. Nick?
The entire Hunt family that all has ownership in it. They're what you consider the bosses, the financiers. They're the ones that invest the money. So I'm gonna do the Hunt family in general collectively because it's their show. After that, I mean, Andy Reid has done a obviously phenomenal job, built a very lucrative structure, and has done that well. Patrick Mahomes is the reason they're all able to make it lucrative right now. So I mean, he's gonna be number 3. Mark Donovan, you could tie at number 3 if you want, just because what he's done from a business operation perspective, and also helping get Andy Reid here. And it now came out in the franchise documentary how instrumental he was in helping make some of that happen. Fans now get to know that since it's finally been made public, even though we've talked about it for years on the pod. There's that. And then, I mean, Brett Veach from a front office perspective. So, I mean, that's, it all works because they all collectively work together. It's just what Mark Donovan does is football related, but he's also a guy who can help get concerts there. He can help get other games there. He can help them make other opportunities to create revenue for the organization when the stadium doesn't have a home game. So, I mean, that's just as equally important as what the Chiefs do for the handful of games a year that are at Arrowhead.
There you go. Oh, no, Brett Veach definitely belongs in the top 5. So your answer, once again, Nick, is correct.
And we have somebody else that's saying Nick looks like he's here by force. No, that is not the case. I swear, man. It does not matter how my face looks. People are always going to criticize. Exhausting. Some of you people are exhausting. Not all of you, but some of you.
Should more college football games be played in NFL stadiums, and should NFL games be played at college stadiums?
I mean, the problem about NFL teams playing at college stadiums is so many of them are doing construction all the time that it isn't that beneficial for some of them to be able to do that. I mean, it could be a cool concept to have a very popular game involving the Chiefs and another team that is very popular at, the Big House in Michigan. Be super awesome. But I mean, if they play the Lions there, that'd be super cool. But I don't know if it'd sell out. You gotta have certain level of marquee teams to be able to sell out those college football stadiums. What makes college football stadiums so special is because they have alumni that always come back, that are always there. But while NFL teams, it can adjust year to year because of, one, because of cost to go into the stadium, depending where that's at and where parking costs are at. But then also on top of it, you just sometimes, people kind of move on with their lives, and they're not as locked in as a fan base as some colleges can be.
I mean, and it varies a little bit because I bet here's what I think it boils down to me. I think you're right, is that 90% of the time, plus maybe 99% of the time, a college football game is always going to be better on campus than it is going to be in an NFL stadium. And I'm going to go with Mizzou and Kansas here, because other than 2007, the Missouri-Kansas games at Arrowhead were okay. They weren't fantastic. They would have been better on the campuses, because the campuses are just more lively and exciting. The 2007 game would have been lively if they'd played that game on the moon. I mean, they could have played that game.
I don't think so. They would have had oxygen, Matt.
They could have played that game on an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Pacific, and that game would have been emotional and great. So, that's the fact that it was what it was at Arrowhead. It would have been that way in Lawrence or Columbia. So the only college football experience, I guess there's 2 of them that I've seen or witnessed. The Red River Shootout is good wherever they play that. So that's that's a great game no matter where. And I'll tell you what, Missouri and Illinois was better in St. Louis than it ever was on either of their campuses. But your mileage may vary. But I think, hey, you know what? The one thing the NFL, I mean, and going back to, they used to play exhibition games on the roads everywhere back in the day, and they don't do it anymore. All right. I know. I allotted my time, Nick. I did it again.
You're wanting me to help make you quicker. I'm just trying to help.
Kyle, bless his heart, has a yes or no question. Did I hear correctly that the Chiefs have a 2.5 hour drive from the hotel to the stadium? Kyle, you did hear this correctly. It can be anywhere from 90 minutes to 2.5 hours.
And Matt, how long is their flight again?
It's scheduled for 11 hours. They're hoping if they get a good tailwind that it might be 10.5.
Oh, yeah? So it's not okay, because I heard a number that was significantly higher that was incredibly inaccurate.
Well, I mean, no, there's a 2-hour, time difference. So they're leaving at 7, and originally it was like possibility that they might be landing at 9, but now it sounds like that their goal is to be at the hotel at 9 o'clock. So
Either way, so you said it'll be under 12 hours, huh?
they're 12 hours is used as the number a lot, but I was told today by someone who would know that the flight is scheduled for 11, but could take.
Whoa. So you asked somebody a question that fans want to know the answer to.
Yes, but it wasn't on a podium, so I guess it doesn't count.
So frustrating. So for people that don't remember, you heard from Matt. It is under 12 hours. If you hear other places, especially you hear other places, it's inaccurate.
Yes. I mean, they will be flying in a very fast jet, so that helps.
Next question.
Jeremy, what are you most worried about for the first game? The O-line, how the run D will stand up, or if KC can bring back the old offense of 2 to 4 years ago?
Look, here's what I'm going to say, guys. You guys got to stop, holding the Chiefs to where they were when Tyreek Hill was here. Defenses have changed. Everything's changed in the world of football. And so, everybody keeps wanting to grab for that 2019 offense or, 2020, where they were in 2020, that's gone. Those days of football, those are going to be gone for a little bit, and there's a pendulum swing, so that's not going to be working out well. And my concern, I'm concerned about, I've already talked about it. I'm concerned about, how the left side of the line is going to do. I'm concerned about how the run defense is going to do. I'm concerned about how the pass rush is going to do. But, I'm hoping to see surprises, and I'm hoping to see some stuff that's different. And I'm just, right now it's a big bunch of unknowns, but that's what's happening to 32 football teams across the board. And it'll be that way until about week 8 to week 10.
Yeah, those are all things to worry about. I like Nick's point about not, comparing this offense to what it used to be. It's going to be a different offense. Could be a lot better. Could be worse. Could be the same. It's just going to be different, and so that's okay. I will say, I mean, my biggest concern watching this team is going to be the run defense. It was scary during the preseason. If the Chargers decide to commit to running the football, it could be scary. So your mileage could vary.
It will.
There you go. Joe, whose home game in Brazil? This is the Chargers' home game. They are the home team. They get all the advantages. So that's why they get the hotel that is closer to the airport and to the stadium. And that's really the biggest thing about this. I mean, they get home uniforms too if they want, get to wear whatever they want. They get the nicer locker rooms. So they get all those advantages, but that ride to the airport is the ride to the stadium rather from their hotel is the big one. Kenneth, what are your thoughts on the Tom Brady media restrictions being lifted? This in reference, Nick, that the NFL is going to allow him to be in the coaches' meetings and do some of the stuff that did not allow him to do in the past.
Well, it's the first I'm hearing of it.
I should say. Yes.
It's the first I'm hearing of it. Yeah, I mean, if he's going to be part owner, then he doesn't need access to other franchises stuff.
I feel like that the team should still have the right to deny him if they want to. I mean,
yeah, no, I agree. The right, give them the option. That's cool too.
Yeah, because I mean, if I'm the Chiefs and I don't feel comfortable having Tom Brady in my building and meeting with my coaches and going through those interviews, well,
yeah, pick a lane, Tom. You either want to be an owner or TV.
Do one or the other, exactly. But I tell you what, I mean, if I was Andy Reid, I wouldn't tell Tom Brady crap. So,
you showed him.
That's the harshest word I could say. Okay, Jesus. Here's the secret, and it may not be immediate, but yes, the starting soon, and like I said, not immediately. This could be up tomorrow. It could be. I'm not promising, Jesus, but yes, because of the move to the 2 a week and doing the shorter ones, this Q&A is going to be put on the Chiefs Digest podcast, so that if you want to get just the audio version and not get the YouTube version, you will have your option. So, Jesus, I wanted you to be the first to know that, since you've been asking about it, and since you asked it again, there you go. It is happening. It is going to happen.
Keyword is Matt saying it'll be on Chiefs Digest. It will not be on the 41 is the mic audio page.
Correct.
Will
it
not
will
be
be
there.
on a separate feed, but you will have access to it if you so choose. Brian, are the Chiefs going to win by 10 or more?
I already gave him a prediction earlier. I mean, so I'm done. I'm done on that front. Even if Brian tries to trip me up.
Earlier.
Already gave
of course not, Brian. I mean, this team doesn't win games by more than one score, right? I mean, my prediction is 31-27 because I'm just sticking with the one-score games. So, Zulu, that's a great point. Yes, give us a big thumbs up. We do appreciate that. The Nombre, should Royals be good to go for week 2? I mean, that's certainly, I mean, good to go, I guess, is a relative term, but Andy Reid certainly suggested that he was more likely to be ready to go in week 2 than he was this week, Nick. So no Jalen Royals likely for this game, but for the Eagles game next week, sounds like there's a distinct possibility that, yes, he will be available.
And I'll say we'll see you next week on the practice field. We'll see you next Wednesday. Until then, I have absolutely no idea.
Tom, did anyone ask Coach Spags about the decision when it came to Nadi over Pennell? Shouldn't it have been his call over Veach? I mean, they talk to each other, Nick. I mean, it's a decision that's made collectively, right?
So here's I know where this is coming from. So we can ask Steve Spagnuolo about it, and for some people that are question experts, we can ask him about it. But I'm telling you, he's going to defer. He's going to be like, well, that's up to Brett Veach and Andy Reid. Like, that's what a coordinator's supposed to say. That's what a coach is supposed to say. So there's only a certain amount of questions we get to ask in a press conference before they're like, all right, thanks, guys. And then they're out of there. So each person's trying to get what they need to, either for their story or for fans to find out. So there's some fans out there that want us to use what you would call a sledgehammer. And if you're not in a media workroom, if you're not in a press conference room, if you're not in the locker room, if you're not having to look people in the face and everything, and be respectful, you can puff out your chest a little bit more and say, well, I would have done this, I would have done that. But like, I'm just telling you, yes, we can ask Steve Spagnuolo that, but I already know how that's going to go. And on top of it, he's not going to throw anybody under the bus. That's what professionals are mindful of whenever they're speaking at the podium and they're putting stuff on the record and things of that nature. So yes, we can ask him that, but Steve Spagnuolo is going to say Derek Nolly's a good football player, does a good job. And then he may do a little breakdown on him. He's going to say, Mike's a great guy. We miss him. We're going to miss him, but we got to keep moving forward. Boom. I just already told you what he's going to say. Because that's Steve Spagnuolo's been the media or been coached long enough and dealt with media to fully understand that.
Yeah, and to the other part of the question too, Tom. I mean, is it his call over Veach's? I mean, it's. I mean, everybody's going to tell you. I mean, most people in this organization will tell you, well, it's ultimately Andy Reid's call, and Andy Reid's always what the roster going to say it's Brett Veach's call. So. Because he's not going to undermine his GM.
Nope.
But they meet about all of this. They talk about it. I mean, during training camp, they meet every single day. Everybody, all the coaches, Brett Veach, to talk about where they are with all of these things. So it's a group decision. There's no doubt about it. But honestly, I mean, the best answer that we've got was last week when I and the other beat writers met with Brett Veach.
2-minute warning.
Gave us his answer. So if you want to know why the Chiefs walked away from Mike Pennell, you're not going to get a better answer than what Brett Veach told us last week, and you can find that at Chiefs Digest.
Matt, you better pay attention to the clock if you're going to deliver on your promise.
Yeah, I know. I've already lost that, but we're moving on. All right, no conscience. What Chiefs player is the most enjoyable to interview and the least to interview? I'm not going to shame anybody with the least to interview. No conscience. So I'm not going to be that guy. I mean, if I did, it would be a former player, just, to make sure that, no, I'm not going to do that at all either. And actually, there's not anybody that's terrible. Most enjoyable to interview? Gosh, that's a hard one because I tell you what, I mean, talking to the guys this week and everybody's in a good mood. So everybody was enjoyable to talk to this week. But I mean, I guess, hey, he's been so good to me for all these years. I mean, I'm probably always going to say James Winchester because James Winchester will talk to you for as much as you possibly want.
Wait, you're at 717.
Yeah, and now I'm going to be, not at 718 because you're just sitting there criticizing me.
Oh man. Next question.
Brian, how is Oladokin supposed to do a realistic impression of Josh Allen? I can't fathom that. Well, actually, I mean, during that week, it's usually team effort. And some of the quarterbacks that when they do scout team, it's going to be like Gardner and Chris Oladokin. They'll both handle duties. I would imagine that's the situation for Josh Allen. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, you're never going to be able to completely replicate Josh Allen, Nick, because you're not going to hit quarterbacks even your scout team quarterbacks in a practice.
Well, he's also like 6'6", so I mean, he's a big body guy. You're not duplicating that.
You could have George Karlaftis play quarterback that day.
Yeah, he's still not big enough to be Josh Allen. Sorry.
88 Flexen. Do you think Norman Lott will play? I do, Nick.
If he's healthy, hope so. But I mean, hope he's healthy.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he does not play. So, delay of pontification, 5 yards. I thought I was going to get a delay of podcast or delay of live streaming, 5 yards. No conscience. Do you feel another big reason the Chiefs kept 8 receivers is because of the injury history with Juju and Hollywood?
No, I think it's because they knew Rice was getting suspended and they had some suspicions that Jalen Royals may not be ready for week 1.
Yeah, I can't say that necessarily wasn't like the third thing hanging around in the back of their head, but I understand your point because those are 2 guys with injury concerns, but that's why you keep guys in the practice squad too. And I don't know if Jason Brownlee would have made it to practice squad, but KC, yeah, we talked about this earlier. Yes, the Chiefs hotel is indeed 2 hours away on a good day. Dinky Dog, do the Chiefs have extra money to spend because Rice is suspended without pay? They do get a rebate, but they don't get that rebate until next year.
You just called it a rebate. All right.
Well, it's technically a rebate.
Yeah. It's moving on. Next question.
Collective bargaining agreement calls it a rebate.
You want me to help keep you efficient. This is how I do it as a producer.
You are correct. I need to be
people
listening.
that know behind the scenes. Matt's trying to have me help him with this stuff. So whenever he tries to play the Nick's big and bad and cracking the whip, he's been the one that's asking me to help be a Sherpa.
Joe, Chiefs had good run defense last year. What has changed in Chiefs run defense to decrease or improve the run defense?
Your defensive line decides a lot of how you go. So if you got a really good one tech that can eat up space and allow Chris to penetrate the field, you got defensive ends that don't get turned and don't get sealed off. You're good on that front. You got to keep your backers clean, so your front forward decide how it goes.
And it's not just, you don't have Mike Pennell. You've got a Derek Nottie who's a year older. And I understand he was pass rushing was his specialty, but you also don't have Tershawn Wharton anymore. And Tershawn Wharton played 670 snaps for this team last year. That's a lot of snaps to replace. And he was a good player. Even against the run, he was a good player. Nick, you have had a chance to watch Pennell snaps against Chicago. Do you think his performance set off alarm bells for the Chiefs coaching staff?
No. Mike Pennell is who he is. He's a one-tech, solid run defender. They let you go a different direction. We'll see if it works out for him or against him. That's what we'll find out over the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Did you feel like he was any different from last year or lost a step from last year?
No.
He just is what he is.
Yep.
There you go. Sharon Inlate, has Matt offered his win-loss record for the Chiefs season? I haven't, Sharon. So, I guess I sort of did. I'm going with 13-4. Nick, do you want to share yours?
When I wrote the article in April, it was 13-4. So there you go.
We're all going to stick with 13-4.
Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll write a new article that won't. We'll find out.
There you go. Albert, guess the 5 inactives. I've actually been thinking about this in the back of my head, Nick, but I haven't written them down yet.
Okay.
But Jalen Royals.
Obviously, yeah.
Hunter Norzad. He's going to be the 9th offensive lineman. You're going to carry 8.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Jared Wiley because I think you're going to have 3 tight ends, and I think he still needs some more time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, it'll be one running back.
It'll be a running back.
Mm-hmm.
And most likely, I'm guessing a linebacker. Who could it be now? I mean, as much as I love him, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Cooper McDonald.
I think it just comes down to where Jack Cochran's health's at.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be between Cooper and Jack.
I think it'll be one of the extra linebackers.
Yeah.
So there you go. Are we on the same page?
Yeah, I mean, because I don't think it's going to be defensive linemen because they're going to need all of them.
They're going to need all the defensive linemen. And
they're going to want all the safeties for run support just in case.
I think they're going to need all the corners. So
yes, they're going to need all the secondary they can and all the defensive linemen they can.
There you go. Brian, is Hollywood the highest paid decoy in the NFL? Is this your trying to get our goats question of the week, Brian? I feel like it is.
I doubt it. I doubt it, Brian. I doubt it. I got a feeling there's some others out there that would be under that category.
I don't think the Chiefs are paying to be a decoy. I understand. No. I kind of get your point, and I think I know where you're coming from. And I'm just giving you a hard time, Brian, because I think sometimes you try to needle us.
437, Matt. You're making pace. You're getting the ground.
I know we're moving now. Yeah. AZ Chief over under on Mahomes sacks come Friday.
I don't know. It sounds like a gambling question.
It does sound like that.
Yeah,
I don't know what the over under is.
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, I don't know how many sacks. I mean, usually not very many because he doesn't take that many sacks. So 2? I don't know. Your mileage may vary. No conscience. What is your impression so far of the new defensive tackles they signed to the practice squad? I talked about this earlier, Nick, so I'll just defer this question to you.
Absolutely no idea because I haven't seen them on coaches film in an actual game in the Chiefs game. So until that happens, I have no opinion, no thoughts on them, and do not care.
And Broderick Martin's going to be the toughest one because he only played 5 games in his NFL career, so there's not a whole lot of tape to watch on him. So, yes, Cody, we are still in an elongated lightning round. I can't catch a break.
Oh, hey, you're the one that talks tough about how you're going to do an hour. That's
you see how much Nick is laughing at me, and you think that he is not here willingly. He is here almost exclusively to laugh at me and my inability to run a lightning round.
Exclusively?
Almost exclusively.
That's the reason I'm here is exclusively. Get out of here, man.
I said almost.
I'm here to help you make money. Get the heck out of here.
Patrick, is Juju the hidden gem that Andy and Pat will use heavily while Rice is out? Not a lot of people talking about him. Juju and Pat seem to always be on the same page out on the field. Any thoughts?
No. No. They're gonna pass the ball around to whoever's open, man. Like it's not some hidden secret that this is gonna be the hidden gem for your fantasy football team. Like they're gonna dish the ball to whoever's open and what they're trying to target in that coverage on that zone scheme based on that down and distance. That's what they're gonna try to do. So if you're trying to get him for fantasy football and try to see if he can rack up the same numbers that Rice was going to or you were hoping for, I understand. But they're out there just trying to win games, man. They're not worried about fantasy football stats.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, it's like, hey, that spot in the lineup that you're going to fill with different people, it's just going to get fewer snaps. So that's part of it. I mean, Juju is obviously going to fill a little bit of that role. When he's back, Jalen Royals is going to fill a little bit of that role, but you're just going to be using that Rasheed role a little bit less. And part of that is also going to be that what plays you do run, that role is going to be the primary a lot less than it's going to be for other guys. I mean, I think the biggest beneficiary for this is going to be Xavier Worthy, but I could be wrong. Which is why you should never base any of your gambling advice based on anything that I say. Sarah, what time do the Chiefs? Oh, the Chiefs leave to Morris. Are you talking about Brazil? I'm a little confused. If it's Brazil, it's 7 in the morning. So I may be confused, Sarah. But
that's probably what it is. So we're good.
So I am. Feel free
next
to
question. Next question.
I'm catching up, Nick. Nick, they still want to know about the defensive tackles. So that's apparently your assignment.
They did 30 minutes ago when they asked it, yes. But we've answered the question multiple times. What I've tried to explain to Matt over time is like, yeah, no, like, I mean, people do have the question, but they had it 30 minutes ago. So since nobody heard it, then the next person asked the same question, and then maybe a third person asked the question. But since Matt's living in the past, like we talked about last week, Matt's now catching up after the fact.
But sometimes it's also just the same. Some people have the same question. So
they did, but they hadn't heard the answer because we hadn't got to the question until 40 minutes later.
Do you feel the Chiefs need to take the same approach to fix how to fix the O-line to fix the D-line? They signed big money on Joe Thuney and Jawan Taylor plus draft picks. Do the Chiefs need to do that on the defensive line, Nick?
I mean, if they do, it's going to be we'll worry about that in 2026. Like, I mean, the roster's already set at this point. Like, it's a matter of them developing Ashton Gelati and Omar Norman Lott now. Like, that's what's going to make their difference this year, and how they perform and how George Karlaftis performs, and if Charles Omenihu can be who he needs to, that's going to determine, and maybe the practice squad guys, if they can develop over the next month or so, that'll determine what they need to do. So, I mean, that's a 2026 offseason question, and we've got, I don't know, hopefully 19 to 20 plus games before we have to worry about that reality.
And hey, I mean, they're already in the process of it. I mean, they did spend 2 draft picks this year, and I think they're going to take a defensive tackle again next year because
they're going to have to take defensive line every year, wide receiver every year, or O-line every year. You're going to have to continue to draft for spots where you need to keep cheap.
And yes, MIZ everybody. So I'm just saying, Nick. See, we're really catching up here. Gosh, Nicky, I know I've written it down. I'm going to write it down again. So as soon as I get a question here for Nick that he can answer. Oh, there you go. That's a great question, Brian. If the Chiefs take away McConkey, Hampton, and Allen and get after Herbert, they're I don't even understand.
They're getting after Sherbert, bro.
And Sherbert.
I think Brian's messing with you at this point.
I thought Brian was actually trying to be serious there for a moment. No. Now I'm guessing
he's at least stayed away from talking about one individual of the coaching staff who may have a restraining order on him at this point. So I'm proud of him for that front.
Neo with the question, and I know you brought this up before, Neo, and I was thinking of you, and it will be part of a bigger story later. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the inside scoop here, Neo, and everything. Yes, I did have a conversation this week with Josh Simmons, and we did talk about his injury, and did clarify. Yes, he had a complete tear. It was not a partial tear. So I think that just makes his recovery and what he's been able to do this even more remarkable. The fact that it was a complete tear and not partial. And I'm looking forward to talking more about it because he gave me at least, the few minutes we were able to talk, gave me just kind of a brief background on it and how he attacked it and what the plan was. And I mean, I tip my hat to him because the fact that was a complete tear and he is where he's at right now says a lot about the dude. I mean, it probably says a little bit about the surgeon and luck and genetics, but it also says a lot about his commitment to the rehab and what he was able to get done. So I'm impressed. I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. Nikki, does the plane have more leg room than a regular plane, i.e. rows or seats removed? This is interesting, Nick, because I was asking around and trying to find out if the Chiefs were on that same Virgin Atlantic flying palace that they had to Germany. But apparently it's not the same plane. It's like a step down. So it is not one of those ones where every seat reclines into a bed and you can like lay down and everything. I don't think it's like the Delta shuttle to, Wichita or anything. So it's not quite, I know I'm just ruining sponsored potentials, for you, Nick.
I didn't say anything, man.
But you know what? I will say that because I would never allow Delta to sponsor the Chiefs Digest anything. So, Most of the time, I'm only going to go with sponsors that I actually approve. So I wouldn't approve of Delta. But it's not going to be as nice as the plane they took to Germany. I'm sure it's going to be above normal, but it's not the fancy plane. So yes, will they have more room? They're going to have more room than like a coach plane that most of us have to sit in. So it'll be better than that, but not as good as they've had it in the past. Jake, what were your 3 favorite team fits from this year's draft for skill position players?
Dude, I don't even remember who they drafted at this point. Like, people don't realize we've had a lot of football.
We were going through. I was going through with Seren Petra this afternoon over at Sports Radio 810 about if the Chiefs wanted to take running back at each different spot and different running backs that they could have taken. I'll be honest, Nick. I'm still happy with Brashard Smith, but
yeah, no, I mean obviously I'm happy with Brashard Smith because he was on my my mock draft that I had for the Chiefs, so I'm happy they got him. I mean, I think Bossa is going to be fun in a couple of years after he's been in the league. Look, I like each one of their picks for different reasons. So, I mean, I don't necessarily have a 3 favorite. I mean, at the end of the day, the only one that matters is if Josh Simmons stays healthy. That helps Patrick Mahomes' career greatly.
I'm looking at
that, it's all gravy.
I'm looking at my pile of paperwork because in here I do have somewhere your printout of your draft board. So,
yeah,
I could not possibly find it right now. So. It's a rather large stack of papers. Rebates like Menards, pretty close, Charlie, except they don't have to print out their receipts and get the UPC code and send it into the NFL or anything. But think of it kind of that way. Yep, there you go. Samuel, who's wearing number 2, Tyquan or Joshua Williams? Same with 30, CRW or Brashard Smith. Josh Williams is number 2. Tyquan Thornton is number 80, if I believe correctly.
Yep.
CRW, Chris Rowan Wallace still has number 30. Brashard Smith wearing 24.
Yep.
So if you start to have Sky Moore flashbacks, not my fault. Pano, did anyone sign Carson Steele? Chiefs did.
Yeah, Pano, him and Clyde are both on the Chiefs practice squad.
Their lockers are like not next to each other, but they're like one plus away from each other. Had no idea how to finish that sentence in that description. See, Casey Harrell understands it. I try to be a man of the people, Nick. I try to answer all the questions. I just need to be faster at it.
I'm not saying you got to answer all the Chiefs fans' questions. Never have said that. I'm just saying you can't talk tough and say, I only want to do an hour. I'm only going to do an hour. And then like you're here for like 2.5, 3 hours sometimes. Like you want me to help you achieve these goals, but
I think Nikki made it very clear that she needs to be paid, and she would deserve to be paid. So, hey, what's your score prediction, Nick? And everybody already answered the question about the jersey before I got to it. So, hey, we're caught up, Nick.
No, you still got another question or two.
I do have another question, so I was just going to say last call before I brought up Chris's question. So this is your last chance. Chris, I was in that nightmare 2-hour drive to Sao Paulo Stadium last year. That truly sucks. Worst part of the trip. Are KC family members on this trip or just players, coaches? I mean, if family members and everything are going, my understanding is they're going on their own. So I don't think that the Chiefs officially chartered anything for families and players. I mean, I know the Chiefs have like a package deal that family members might have gotten in on, so maybe they could be part of that. But no, my understanding is the Chiefs didn't officially organize anything specifically for family members or anything of that nature. So on the plane will just be the Chiefs and their own personnel, coaches, players, support, that kind of thing. So third member of the Brashard Smith fan club is here in Rick's. Bobby Veach called Rasheed a top 10 wide receiver. Would you agree? Seems high. I think he is, Nick.
He's in that ballpark.
I mean, I'll be honest. I am going to do it. I'm going to have another one of my promises, Nick. You know, I make lots of promises and I under-deliver. I mean, emojis, podcast, 1-hour shows. What else? Stories.
I don't know. You decide how you want to beat yourself up today.
I make a lot of promises, and I definitely know that I underdeliver. But I am going to do my hot take story because I'm really looking forward to this one. And my hot take: Rasheed Rice is going to be a 1,000-yard receiver this year. I don't care if he plays 11 games; he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver, and that's a top 10 guy in the NFL. I think the last question we got is, Rick, when are we going to trade with the 49ers Moore back? You are not trading Jalen Moore. I think the last question, Nikki wants to know what your score prediction is. Nick is 1 second away from just hanging up on me. Okay, that was totally my fault. Nick, I know you're still watching and listening. Forgive me. That was mean. That was cruel. Charlie, last question. Are you buying into the Travis Kelce resurgence this year? I kind of am. I mean, I think here's what I think. I mean, I feel like the things that Travis has done this year to improve. Nick is back.
What, dude? I don't know. This StreamYard's having a tough night, man.
I just meant that I was predicting that you were just gonna hang up on me, and you hung up on me.
Dude, the amount of times you have frozen in the past 20 minutes on here, I'm just like, well, I hope Matt's not asking me anything because I'm just smiling like an idiot.
No, dang. Well, there were a couple of times that I saw you smiling and not responding, and I thought it was just that I did something to offend you.
No, internet's not working out well tonight on StreamYard or whatever. So, and for people that, since this is a work computer, I have a certain client connector that has to be used, and it sometimes will connect and disconnect. So there's not much I can do about that.
There you go. We'll blame that.
No, it's literally what's happening because it gives me an alert every time it happens.
StreamYard's not a sponsor, and they make me pay them, so I'm happy to throw them under the bus. So
okay, all right. Is there anything I missed?
Actually, there was not. So
okay, good.
Charlie was just asking if we're buying into the Travis Kelce resurgence this year.
Look, I mean, at training camp, he showed the athletic ability. I thought on that day specifically, as I mentioned, he looked like his old self. Now, whether he's going to be that every single time he's out there on the practice field or football field, I think it's just going to be dependent on the wear and tear for him. So, like, I mean, no guy's ever going to be the same. And Travis Kelce, he's at a point where his body's taking a lot of shots, a lot of aches and pains, man. So, I mean, for him, it's all in Mahomes, Chris Jones, other guys. It's all about rest and recovery. Whatever they can do to help their bodies recover. Like that's where they win the day.
And I feel like I was getting ready to say, I feel like that the things that Travis did this year to improve his health, improve his body, all these things, I think it's going to just at least keep things at bay, keep aging at bay, maybe a little bit more than it was at cost possible last year. I mean, the dude is still going to be 36 in October. That's just reality in life. He's not going to be getting any faster. He's not going to be getting any stronger. The only thing he can really do at this point is just try to get his body in better shape. And even that, I mean, being in better shape just means maybe not getting in worse shape than he was a year ago. I mean, it's just a reality at his age. But I think the biggest thing that, hey, it's not really so much about Travis and what he did during the offseason to take care of his body. It's what he and the Chiefs do during the season to take care of his body. He needs to play fewer snaps. That's just the reality of it. He can't, take on the weight of the world like he did last year. And when he just decided that, hey, since Patrick didn't have any receivers, he's got to go out there and be out there every single play. He can't do that. I mean, he's got to lean on Big Bob Tunyon. He's got to lean on Noah Gray and let them be out there and take himself out of games. He just can't stay on the field. He's got to do that. And if he does that, I mean, I'm in the camp that if Travis takes care of himself during the season and manages his time better, I think he can put up the same numbers he did last year, maybe more, maybe better, because he was tired AF at the end of last season.
Okay.
Is that allowed? I don't know. I know I can't say that at 41.
It's your Q&A, man.
Well, I know. Q&A. I don't want to get in trouble. I mean,
you're not on our station's
I would never say that on air on KSHB.
I know you wouldn't get the chance to.
I would be escorted from the premises.
No, not that. I would just have to edit it out like I've had to do in some other things over the years.
I think you only had to edit me out once.
Not you specifically, but I have had to drop the mic on a couple things over the years because people still think they're on radio. They can say whatever they want. Nope, that's not how it works with the FCC.
And I think I know the word that I said that I got in trouble for. It was also the same word that got
me in trouble. You didn't get in trouble. I just like keeping my job and not getting fined.
But it was the same word that did get me in trouble in middle school, junior high, with my 8th grade math teacher.
We're 25 minutes over what you said you wanted to do, so.
Yeah, but we're 35 minutes ahead of normal schedule.
That's how you want to look at it.
I'm trying to go glass half full.
I'm looking forward to who your guest is on Thursday. I'm intrigued to see this.
Technically, I haven't booked anybody yet. So
I'm excited to see who you have on Thursday while I'm stacking the Chiefs pregame show for Friday at 5:00.
I mean, it might just be me because I'm,
No, you promised people you're going to have guests on.
I'm going to try to have guests, yes.
Okay, then have a guest on Thursday. And
I'm going to try.
It won't be me. No, there's no try to it. There's either do or do not, as your buddy Yoda says, or whatever the hell he says.
My buddy Yoda. Is this how you stay sane, Nick? That's what Jack wants to know.
How do I? No, he says, how do I?
Yes, I was asking.
I don't know what has caused me to not be sane, Jake.
I think it's because he realizes all of the craziness with which you are surrounded, both myself and most of the questioners. Brian, for sure.
I don't know. Jake's gonna have to clarify what he means by that, and then we'll go from there.
I think it's just all of us. I mean,
I don't know, dude. No, I'm not gonna assume anything, Matt.
Charlie, what a great point. I would do the Q&A in a Hy-Vee parking lot.
Oh, that should be funny if you did that out there.
Hey, if we ever get that sponsorship money rolling in, Nikki gonna do it 7:00 Thursday, but we might experiment on Thursday nights. So
all right. We might experiment. Okay, what type of experiments are we talking about here? Well, you gonna do like a little volcano type thing, or what? What are we going on here?
More experiments in time, maybe earlier or later.
Okay, time experiments. We're not talking like actual like.
I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be doing.
Create a tornado.
Not gonna be doing Dr. Wizard or anything, or
Dr. Wizard. Okay,
or making volcanoes out of Diet Coke and Mentos or anything.
And for Neo here talking about, can you drop the ads in the live stream? We don't have any call on how that goes.
Well, technically I have a call. I could just choose to make less money, and I mean
I can choose to make less money. I love it. Oh, that's good.
But I appreciate the love, Neo. Thank you very much. That is kind.
Well,
I
know I don't have a call on it.
So yeah, we are getting giddy here. What's the next step on the career ladder for each of you? I'm slowly working my way down the career ladder, Jimmy's. So my next job will probably be in retail. So
well, Jimmy's, I'm trying to see if I can get nominated for some more Emmys here. We'll find out September 11th, 12th, something like that.
The next step in Nick's career is, yes, to be multi-Emmy winner, Nick Jacobs. And
I'm already multi-Emmy winner.
I know, but multi.
Oh my God. Multi. All right, Matt.
You start, being able to use, oh, well, I guess technically, Neo, I guess if you're a YouTube premiere, I don't think you get the ads. So, but you know what? And you don't, honestly, you don't, sometimes you don't get the ads because I forget to turn them on, but Nancy got mad at me for forgetting to do that. So now she reminds me every week to do that. So now this is how the sausage gets made. You've now seen it all. So Mitchell, how did I skip your question? What did I do, Mitchell? I'm looking. I'm looking. I mean, it's always possible. Oh no, I did not. I did not see your question. My bad. Has anyone ever heard an explanation from Kelsey as to why he gave minimal effort in the Super Bowl? I don't think he gave minimal effort. I think he just hit a wall. But
yeah, I don't. Travis doesn't give minimal effort. It's just Travis's body was physically exhausted, and I just don't think people appreciate what that guy's body's been through for more than a decade now. Like, I mean, he came to the Chiefs in 2013. Like, I mean, that guy has given every single ounce of effort, ability that he's had. He's, whether it's working out or trying to get faster or do everything that he's done, like, that dude has given everything he can to this town, both on the field and off of it. So the thing I want to pump the brakes on there is saying minimal effort. Like, I'm telling you, man, like, I mean, like, that dude's body, where he was at last year. I mean, I saw it at training camp, just simply going down the hill, like, you know, after a couple days, just kind of you realize the wear and tear some of these guys go through, especially when they get over the age of 30. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, I know you expect a certain level of performance and a certain level of where they were, that they're still going to be at that forever. But every single player either leaves while they still have something left in them, or they get thrown out of the party because they don't have anything left. Like, I mean, that's just an NFL career.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, I think Travis left it all on the field last year, and he may not have had anything left in the Super Bowl. I mean, he just his body was spent, and I mean, and that goes back to what I was talking about earlier, as far as just managing himself, his playing time differently, managing his body differently this year. Change diet, change body shape, losing weight, all those things are great, but I still think, hey, most NFL players just have so many snaps in them, and I think if you're and so many snaps in the season, and if you're Travis, I think you want to have your best snaps. And I mean, I joked about it, but I honestly meant it, Nick. That if Travis Kelce wanted to keep playing for 3 more years, and the decision was just that he's like, hey, I'll see you guys in October, I'd be fine with that. Because I still think at that point that Travis Kelce coming in midseason would still be probably better than 95% of the tight ends in the league. But that's one thing you would never have to. I would never question about Travis in particular. Never going to question the effort, because that dude has left it all out on the field. All right, we are giddy. We are slap happy.
Hold on, Matt. Somebody brought up something about Hy-Vee fines.
Do you have some Hy-Vee fines tonight for us?
Yeah, dude. I'm actually got a whole bunch of them.
Okay, Kevin, I have never been told that I look like Fraser Crane, so that's a new one.
All right, how many of them do we want tonight, Matt?
I mean, let's not overdo it. 3 or 4.
Let's not overdo it. 3 or 4. All right, it's send it to my email right now. Once it gets there, I will put them up. I did find the Reese's Oreo today.
Where?
I'll tell you after the show.
Oh my gosh. Okay, because I'm leaving like the house immediately to go.
That's why I'm going to tell you after the show. I want you to still be able to buy them.
Okay.
How much I care, man. Okay.
Because that's literally been the highlight of my last month.
That's the highlight of your last month. It hasn't been being around me and fellowshipping or being a Chiefs training camp or anything like that.
That's a given.
That's a given. I don't know. I had to force you to say it, so obviously it wasn't.
I thought everybody would just assume that.
Nobody assumes anything, Matt. All right, I'm trying to refresh my email right now. It is...
And there was another comment that I was going to bring up. Nick disappeared. We lost Nick. All right. Well, we are going to hang on for the Hy-Vee fines, because we definitely need these now to make all of our lives a little bit better. So, good question. Where was it? Neil, I will check on that, because we do have memberships, and if it's now an ability that I have to turn off ads for members, I will do that. So I'll check into that. Thank you. We'll give it a go. Nick is back.
Oh yeah, I am back. Okay, I'll do these 4. And then here's what's cool. Every time I go there, I'm like, man, I'm gonna run out of like stuff for us to find. I never do. Never do, Matt.
I like that Brian continues to ask about Nick's assessment of the new defensive tackles. I mean, every once in a while, I don't always understand Brian's subversive humor, but when I do, I really, really enjoy it.
All right, Matt, there's your first one in Hy-Vee finds coming at you today. It's hot in the streets. It is a combination of 2 of the powers and all of the land. It is the Oreo Reese's mashup.
Okay, I'm checking. I like what I see so far.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I was worried that you weren't going to.
Yes.
So you can get that for $5.49, Matt, at Hy-Vee right now at this very moment. I'll even text you what aisle if you want to go before they close tonight.
I bet you I can guess what aisle, but I'm.
Nope, it's not an aisle you think either. But anyway, moving on to the next one, Matt. This is a nice little hidden gem. If you go to B&B theaters, or even potentially to, I want to say AMC theaters, the nacho cheese, the little circular one that they have, they sell it at Hy-Vee. That's the one that they use at the movie theater because I've had it before. It's actually pretty good. It's Rico's cheese dip. So if you want to feel like you're in the movie theater with the movie theater cheese, that's it right there. There you go.
The cheese looks good. That nacho that is being dipped into the cheese is technically abomination against tortillas, but
all right. Okay. All right, you want to go to the next one on the list in Hy-Vee finds.
Dun, da, da, da.
If you wanted to have mac and cheese that's in Cheeto form, they have it now. It's Cheetos mac and cheese bold and cheesy. So they have that now as well, man. If you want to try that, that's over in the aisle with other mac and cheese stuff.
I got to admit, I mean, I cannot keep track of the different things of Cheetos flavors and products now because it has gotten out of control.
Yep. All right, Matt, your final one for tonight.
Dun, da, da, da.
The Old El Paso. They now have soups. They have the corn chowder. They have the enchilada style. They have the chicken and rice, and they have their own jalapeno chicken and noodle. Wow. And then next to it, I took a photo of that separately. We can talk about a little bit of it. Progressives now has the Pitmaster soup. I looked at the sodium on it. It is a day's worth of sodium in the Pitmaster alone. I did not look at Old El Paso's, but they had a sale last time I did it. They may be out now since that is just such an intense price. So, what has been another edition of Hy-Vee Finds?
I am intrigued by the Pitmaster. Is that just beans or what do we got here?
Now I gotta open it up.
Look how it's like steakhouse style.
Yeah. Okay. So, the one that I'm gonna make sure that which one did I show you? Okay. So over there they have a. Let me send that one out. The one you can probably see. Oh yeah, the one. Okay, because I got another photo. It's got other ones. Yeah, that one says steakhouse style. It says steak and beans on that one. They have other ones. They have a barbecue style that's got grilled chicken and fire roasted corn. They have another one that's sausage and beer cheese with potatoes. And then they have a hearty smokehouse style steak and potatoes with roasted vegetables. So they got a whole bunch of them out there. So if you want to, and then they got another one that's got grilled chicken and potato with roasted vegetables. They got all kinds of them, Matt. And they emphasize on there that they have 20 grams of protein.
I mean, that's an appropriate serving of protein for someone like myself. So I'm assuming the sodium might be a bit of an issue, but you know what?
So great news. The Hy-Vee Finds is back. It just took us 38 minutes over time to get to that point.
Yes. Yeah. So far the 1 hour edition of the lightning round Q&A is working great.
Well, Matt, you got a lot of room for improvement. We'll see how it goes. You can even do it on your own on Thursday and see how it goes.
We'll try it and see what happens. I know I won't have any Hy-Vee finds on Thursday night because there will be no Nick Jacobs. But
I mean, you could still go to Hy-Vee and do it on your own. It just won't.
No, Mizzou 19. I have not seen the Pop-Tart ice cream sandwiches. But I mean, if it's, I'm very particular about my Pop-Tarts. I know I'm going to offend a lot of people here. I do not like fruit Pop-Tarts. So I'm like a chocolate, the vanilla. I like the wild, weird flavors, so the cookie dough is fine. I mean, I just don't like strawberry Pop-Tarts or anything like that. I just don't like the fruit, but that's just.
Well, they sell these at Walmart. That's why I don't know about them. Unless they're in Hy-Vee, I don't buy food a lot of other places unless it's Hy-Vee or occasionally Price Chopper.
And just to wrap up the last question that we got, I do believe that Brian, that I think Kelsey shot the Happy Gilmore too long ago before he had the weight loss during the off season. So
when Kelsey did that, like, was it February of last year?
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was even like in 2024. So
yeah, no, they shot that. Yeah, they shot his stuff movie wise. They did well over a year ago because they talked about it on the podcast, and it was after the Super Bowl, so it may have been in March or April because it's when they had Adam Sandler on because they talked about it and they'd already shot everything, or they
Charlie says it was shot on the bye week, so could very well have been.
Sorry, I'm gonna see when this New Heights podcast came out. So Sandler, when they had Sandler on, it was August 28th of 2024 is when they had Adam Sandler on, and they were talking about Happy Gilmore at that point.
There you go. Remember if they were talking about in the past tense or the future tense?
I don't remember. I don't know. It's a year ago at this point.
So, well, we seem pretty confident it was shot last year, though.
Definitely shot in 2024 for sure.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, I, for one, want to thank my dear friend Nick Jacobs for his camaraderie tonight. That's one of the things that I am most thankful for during the past month. Followed by the news of the Oreo, because it's a twofer. It's not only the Oreos with the Reese's. You see that they're also coming out with a Reese's peanut butter cup that's got an Oreo inside it.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that one.
Yeah, that. And I mean, this is like literally the biggest thing I'm living for right now.
All right.
So,
congrats, Matt.
We'll see what my doctor says in a month. But
all right, Matt.
All right, everybody. Thank you for putting up with all of our nonsense tonight. I hope you had fun. Because as they once said on Sports Night, if you had half as much fun watching this as we had doing it, then we had twice as much fun as you did. Mm-hmm. All right. I've broken Nick. Thank you, everybody. See you Thursday night at 7:00 for another round of shenanigans. And then obviously Chiefs play Friday night against the Chargers. And man, Nick, we haven't figured out when we're doing the podcast yet. I assume on Saturday?
No, remember we're doing that after the game at some point.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we're going to be doing
midnight
at some god-awful time in the morning. So that all of you will be able to have it when you wake up on Saturday.
Yes. So make sure you check out the game on KSHB 41. If you're in the Kansas City market, we will have it on our air. You do not need to go search for it. It'll be on the TV antenna. You can watch on KSHB 41. Pregame starts at 5:00. Goes from 5 to 6. YouTube will have their pregame from 6 to 7. And then we will have the game itself from 7 to 10. Or when the game ends, we'll start the post-game show for a whole hour. And you can join some of our staff out at Chicken and Pickle in Overland Park who will be doing part of the live show from there.
Very exciting.
So that's all I got for you.
There you go. And then we'll be recording 41 is the mic sometime overnight. So you can all have it bright and early when you wake up Saturday morning.
Boom.
Because we care.